Yes, hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Fun Cooking Show. Today we're going to be doing some basic tricks on how to cook pretty much any basic meal, if possible, at any. We're going to start with maybe the basics of cooking, maybe with some cookies, you know? You can never be too hard to make. Alright, so if you know any resemblance about cooking, today we're going to start with the basics of how to do a basic chocolate chip cookie mix. Now, we're going to need 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. Remember to preheat the oven to 375 degrees. On to the next step. Ingredients. Alright, our recipe calls for first 2 eggs. Luckily we have 4, so we ain't afraid to break a couple. I'm just gonna juggle it around real quick and I lost my hat. 2 eggs. All finished and done. Now we have some baking powder. It calls for 1.5 spoons full. I think maybe 2 spoons will be enough. It says butter. It says 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Looks like we don't have any baking powder at all, so I mean, what's the harm in replacing what you don't have? Yeah. Yes. You're gonna need a cup of pure vanilla. Now, always remember, folks, always have a little sip of the vanilla. Make sure it's nice. It smells nice and ripe. Just pour it over. Make sure to always taste it first. It tastes delicious. If it doesn't taste good, don't put it in. That's beautiful. That's perfect. So now that we know that the vanilla is nice and up to the professional standards, just put some of that in. Yeah. Alright, we got our good teaspoon of baking soda. And once you're all done with your stuff, make sure to always put it back. You don't want to have an extra huge large mess lying around. That would stink. That would really stink. Just make sure to always put your stuff back in the thing. Okay. The recipe calls for 1 teaspoon of salt. Let's use. Alright, this is a 1/2 teaspoon. I'm just gonna let that be known as I pour some in. That'll do. And there you go. We got a teaspoon of salt. We don't need this bad boy anymore. Alright. Now, of course, a ground cinnamon. Shout. You don't need the. I'm not going to use the dispenser because that's. Oh, well, look at that. Got my spoon thingy in the. Got my spoon thingy in the bowl. It smells right. You can always tell the ripeness just by the easy cinnamon smell. Sprinkle it in nice and gently. No need to use any excess on that. Now put your Coke, not your Coke, here it is. Now just put some of the chocolate mix in. Oh, that's beautiful. Put some of that in. It's real nice. A good tablespoon, never hurt anybody. Always treat yourself to the nice stuff. That's my motto. Now, add some parsley, parsley. nice stuff. Now, the recipe calls for about 2.5 cups of flour. And of course I have all 3 cups with me right now, so let's pour in the flour. Now this bag is almost empty, so I'm going to use the next one. Alright, 1 cup. 2 cups. That's about 2 cups. Alright, we need about a half a cup more. So I'll just go ahead and open this next one. Remember, if you open it with your teeth, you're probably doing it right. Ah, look at this. This cup is dirty. It's already been used. We can't use this anymore. Ah, here we go. Just about a half cup more flour, and we'll be in business. We'll do this right in front. Yes. Now, if you ever have to figure out how much flour you need, just remember, a full cup is a good 6 Mississippi. That's how we always do it. Oh, look at that. That's nice and spicy. There we go. Alright. Now, the recipe calls for about a cup of sugar, which just helps make the dough rise. But we're not doing bread. Yes. Yes, it's grand. Yeah, so now that we've mixed everything into the pot, we're now able to stir it. Just get it all in there. Nice, smooth, and nice, smooth. Nice mix of garlic and sweetness. Really strengthens the taste buds. Now that it's like this, you're gonna want to add a bit of milk. Luckily, we have some milk. Yeah, so the recipe is supposed to look like that. If you just add some milk, just straight from the carton, really wouldn't hurt anybody. It's that should be enough. Yep. Now that we've added the milk, the actual texture will really rise. So now you can just get in there, and definitely nice, and it's gonna do that. Oh, look at that. That's fine. That's just delicious. That's, yeah, some good stuff. Real good stuff. Yeah, once it's nice and brown and all the bubbles are popped, you're ready to go on to the next step. Yeah, there you go. What our hat saying? And now that we've got our stuff all nice and mixed together, you just take 2 spoonfuls. Yeah. Put it down like that. And you take another one and put it down. Eventually, you're gonna have a dozen on each pan. They're gonna spread out here, and they're gonna spread out more in the oven. Oh yes. There we go. Oh, that one's all nice and connected together. That's what you really want. It's gonna look like gravy, but it really is the taste that counts. so. Very nice like that. Hopefully, with luck, it's all nice and good. And once you're all done, hopefully the oven will be preheated. Oven's ready. Yes, once you're finished with your little thing, it's just gonna go in there like so. And when it comes back out again, it's bon appetit. Yeah, it's gonna nice and spread out. Looks like some nice chocolate cookies once you're finished. Alright, now the cookies are done. Once they're done, you let them sit out for a while, and by the end you can have a nice batch of cookies. 100% recipe guaranteed, grandma approved. Please join me next week as we try the flambe. Whoa!